Hello, children. I hope you all are doing good. Today, we are moving on to the second part of the lesson 10. Let us fulfill our nutritional needs. In this lesson, you will learn nutritional needs in special groups, myths regarding nutrition, how can we contribute to fulfill our nutritional needs. What are the special groups? Based on the activity level and different situations and based on your preferences, there are special groups such as pregnant mothers, breastfeeding mothers, sports persons, people who do heavy work, sick persons, and vegans. Pregnancy or the gestational period is the period a fetus is in the uterus of a mother. This is usually about 280 days. So nutritional needs are very important because you should not only take the required amount of nutrients for the mother but also for the baby. So if the mother doesn't take enough nutrients for both mother and baby, there could be different illnesses, and even it could lead to life-threatening situations. Like the baby will be low weight when the baby is born, or the mother could give birth to a baby before the due date, which is like way less than 280 days. We call it premature birth, and then it could lead to anemia, where there would not be enough red blood cells or hemoglobin in blood of the baby, and it could be the same for the mother as well sometimes. And the brain of the baby would not be grown properly, which is called mental retardation. And there could be deformities in the spine and the spinal cord of the baby if proper nutrients are not taken by the mother. Usually we could give 3 main meals to the mother, and in between we can give them 2 snacks at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Like it should not be restricted to 2 meals. 2 snacks. You can give more snacks as required, but you should be careful to give them nutritional snacks. Additionally, vitamins and minerals should be taken as supplements because the food that the pregnant mothers take may not fulfill those requirements. If you read the page 90, you can learn more about the supplements that are given to pregnant mothers during different stages of their pregnancy. Iron and calcium are some of the minerals that are given as supplements, and it should not be taken together as calcium reduces absorption of water. In order to stay hydrated, pregnant mothers should drink minimum of 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. Calcium requirement is as well important, and by consuming 1 glass of milk daily could fulfill their calcium requirement. Calorie that are needed for a pregnant mother is 2700 per day. Attention should be paid to BMI value. What is BMI value? It is the body mass index. If you divide your weight by the square of your height, you get the BMI. For example, say your weight is 5 kilograms and the height is 2 meters. Then if you divide 5 by 2 into 2, which is 5 divided by 4, you get the BMI. During the pregnancy, the weight of the mother increases over the period. So if based on their BMI value, you should monitor the weight gain. For example, if the mother is having 18.5 BMI, then that mom should gain about 12.5 to 18 kilograms. She, she should not gain more than that or less than that. If the BMI is 18.5 to 24.9, then the weight gain should be between 11.5 to 16 kilograms. If the BMI is between 25 to 29.9, the weight gain should be 7 to 11.5 kilograms. If the BMI is more than 30, then that mother should not gain more than 5 to 9 kilograms. It should be monitored regularly. So based on the BMI, it could also be determined whether the mom is underweight, normal weight, overweight or obese. The normal BMI value is 18.5 to 24.9. Breastfeeding mothers. In the previous lesson, we talked about the importance of breast milk. For infants, breast milk is given up until 6 months. It is very important because it provides natural immunization, reduces allergies, it is free of germs, and all the required nutrients are provided for the infant, and necessary amount of water is also provided. The mother should have good nutrition to provide baby with necessary nutrients and water with their breast milk. And usually a breastfeeding mother produces about 850 milliliters of milk per day, and breast milk is rich in calcium. So the mom should consume more calcium with their food in order to uh, fulfill her dairy calcium requirement. If mother doesn't take enough calcium, then her bones will start to become weak. There would be problems for her skeletal system. So she has to have enough or proper amount of calcium in order while breastfeeding. A breastfeeding mom require about 3,200 calories per day. In the previous lesson, we learned that carbohydrates are more suitable for a person who needs more calories. So more carbohydrates should be included in the meal of breastfeeding mothers. It should be taken care of not to eat excess amount of foods, because it could lead to other health problems such as obesity. Sports persons are people who are involved in sports. So when a person is involved in sports, the activity level of that person is very high. That person requires more energy than an ordinary person. So it is important to pay more attention to the nutrients to improve sporting skills, prevent dehydration, and heal wounds faster. As sports persons need more calories than an ordinary person, we can give more lipids and carbohydrates to fulfill their energy requirements, and more proteins for the growth of tissues and muscles, because when a person is exercising or involved in sports, their tissues tend to tear, and sometimes for certain sports it's important to build up muscles. So more proteins could help them in growth of tissues and muscles. And it is also important to include more soles to prevent muscle fatigue. Nutrients should be taken under the guidance of a coach, because different sports persons need different different nutritional requirements. For example, swimmers and gymnasts, they should be strong, but they have to maintain a light weight. but boxers and lifters should have strong muscles. So the proportion of the different macronutrients in their meal should be different depending on their requirements, depending on their sports. So you should not be taking the meals willy-nilly. It is important to do that under the guidance of a coach. Sick persons who are very having a very low level of activity, but like their metabolic activity level changes compared to an ordinary person. Therefore, the food should be given to them as advised by the doctor. Proper nutritious food should be given at correct time in correct amounts. It should not be more, it should not be less, it should be given at a particular time advised by the doctor. Their food should contain less sugar, spices, oil, and chilies, and also easily digesting food should be given to them, because while you're sick, your digestion become weak, like the body is not able to digest your food properly. Therefore, attention should be paid to these things. And liquid, semi-solid, solid food could be given accordingly. And different menus for different illnesses are there. Like for diabetes persons, food that has less sugar should be given. If a person is having heart disease, then food with less oil should be given. To a person with high blood pressure, food with less salt should be given. Vegans are person that only takes food of plant origin. They eat vegetables. They don't even take cow's milk. They consume milk with plant origin. So their nutritional requirements are not fulfilled completely. Therefore, it is important to pay special attention to their nutritional needs. It is difficult to gain all essential amino acids from plant proteins, because usually animal proteins contain all the essential amino acids required for our body. Essential amino acids are the amino acids that we take from outside with our food. Therefore, they should consider taking diet mixed with grains and pulses. These grains and pulses do not fulfill all the essential amino acid requirements, but in order to fulfill most of it, it is important to mix these things to their diet. Calcium and proteins could be uh, uh, taken into their body with milk and legumes, and coconut milk, oats, soya milk, almond milk could be used as substitutes for animal milk. It is also important for them to take oils with omega-3 and omega-6, because they don't consume fish. Fish are rich in all these omega-3 and 6 oils. Therefore, they could, like, instead of fish, they could consume almond, cotamba, cashew, and groundnut nuts. These are nuts. So these nuts contain the different fatty acids and oils required for our body. So if you are not taking animal based products, you should consider taking plant based products that are capable of fulfilling your nutritional requirements. So you should plan your diet accordingly. Addition of vitamin C to make absorption of vitamin C easy in vegetarian food. So if you add vitamin C in your food, it will make it easy to absorb the vitamin C into the food. Um, it is important to keep in mind that growing up children should not be exclusive vegans, because vegetables and the plant-based product do not provide all the nutrients required for growth. So if a child start to become exclusive vegan, then the child's growth could be problematic, because it will not take place properly. Therefore, they should not be encouraged to become vegans. Myths regarding nutrients. What are the different myths that people have about nutrients? Let's talk about it. The first one is that all the expensive food for sale in the shops have a high nutritional value. That is wrong. The price of a food doesn't necessarily indicate the nutritional value of that food. They may contain different artificial flavors, preservatives that may have increased the value of the food, but its nutritional value may not be great just because it's expensive. The next one is meat-based food provide all the nutrients needed for the body. In the vegan section, we talk how plant-based food could provide all these nutrients like proteins, vitamins, minerals that are required for the body. Even though you don't get all the nutrients required just by consuming um, plant-based food, doesn't mean that food only meat-based food could provide all these nutrients. Plant-based food also could provide these nutrients. Next one is breast milk secreted initially should be cast aside, and milk secreted after that should be given, which is wrong. Breast milk secreted initially is called colostrum, and it is very nutritious for the infant. It contains more nutrients than the breast milk itself, actually, and by giving that, the immunity of the infant could also be increased. So it should not be cast aside. It should be given to the children, and it's proven to be healthy and important for infants. Foods that are big are more nutritious, which is again wrong. If a fruit or a vegetable is bigger in size, doesn't mean it has more nutrients than a fruit or a vegetable small in size. This could be due to the water accumulated in that food, or due to excessive cell growth, which doesn't mean it has got more nutrients than a smaller fruit or a vegetable. Also, some say that jambu and mandarin should not be given to children. Wrong. These fruits, jambu and mandarins, contain high contents of vitamin C. It is important for children to consume vitamin C, important for the immunity, important for other functions in our body. So it should not be avoided to give those fruits to children. Then a large body indicates good nutrition. We say, oh, this person is well built, he's fat, so he must be getting good nutrients, so he must be a healthy person. No, if if a person is having large body, that could be due to bad food habits he's having. It may be eating junk food or fast food, which are actually not nutritious. And that person is, well, if the person is more than the required, having a more weight than the required level, then that person is obese or overweight. So it is not healthy. A bigger body size or a smaller body size actually doesn't uh, mean anything. The food that you take and the good healthy practices only determine whether you are a healthy person or you are having enough nutrients. Then big fish have more nutritional value than small fish. Actually, the flesh of small fish contain the same amount of nutrients that flesh of big fish contain. In addition to that, you can consume the bones of small fish, like in sprats. We consume the whole um, fish, and sprats are known to be a good source of calcium. But when it comes to big fish, we throw away their bones, we don't consume it. Um, so it is not true that big fish are more nutritional than small fish. Then most food items are known to cause phlegm, gall or wine. These food make you sick. Uh, Again, it is wrong because some people show different allergic responses to different food, which may cause phlegm, gall, or conditions like that in them. But not everybody gets those symptoms or conditions after consuming those foods. It depends on the person. So putting a common label for those kind of foods is wrong. Then the next one is green leafy vegetables should not be eaten at night. Wrong. You can consume green leafy vegetables any time of the day. It doesn't make any difference. They are rich in nutrients, so it could be consumed anytime you want. Then pregnant mothers should not eat small fish, as we discussed before. Small fish are of good nutrients. They are actually less toxic than big fish. Um, and the pregnant mothers uh, transfer the nutrients to the fetus through the umbilical cord, and consuming small fish is actually good for their health. Breastfeeding mothers. In the previous lesson, we talked about the importance of breast milk. For infants, breast milk is given up until 6 months. It is very important because it provides natural immunization, reduces allergies, it is free of germs, and all the required nutrients are provided for the infant, and necessary amount of water is also provided. The mother should have good nutrition to provide baby with necessary nutrients and water with their breast milk. And usually, a breastfeeding mother produces about 850 milliliters of milk per day, and breast milk is rich in calcium. So, the mom should consume more calcium with their food in order to uh, uh, fulfill her dairy calcium requirement. If mother doesn't take enough calcium, then her bones will start to become weak. There would be problems for her skeletal system. So she has to have enough or proper amount of calcium in order while breastfeeding. Uh, a breastfeeding mom require about 3,200 calories per day. In the previous lesson, we learned that carbohydrates are more suitable for a person who needs more calories. So, more carbohydrates should be included in the meal of breastfeeding mothers. It should be taken care of not to eat excess amount of foods because it could lead to other health problems such as obesity. Well, the summary of this lesson is that nutritional needs vary at different stages in our life, and there are special nutritional needs for special situations in our life, and we must avoid myths related to nutrition. We can contribute to convey correct messages regarding nutrition, so that now that you are aware of what is correct, you can convey this message to people who are still believing in the myths related to nutrition. Well, children, uh, we have come to the very last part of this lesson, and I would want you all to do the activities on pages 88, 89, 91, 94, and 95 of your health and physical education textbook. Also, if when you go through the lesson, there are additional material for you to read which I have not included in this presentation, so I recommend for you to read them for additional knowledge. And once you submit complete these activities, please submit them to the Google Classroom on or before 28th of May, and please make sure you submit the activities to the assignments that I have created without posting them uh, elsewhere. Thank you so much for joining the class today, children. I hope you all are staying safe and well. Once again, thank you and take care.